All right, let's talk about something that's at the absolute core of modern manufacturing, the network that runs your plant floor. We're going to dig into how you can turn that network from just, a utility into a real competitive advantage. Let's jump right in. So let's just get right to it, right? The big, nagging question. We're living in this era of so-called smart factories. So why does your entire operation still come to a screeching halt because of some tiny network glitch? You know what I'm talking about. It's a frustration that everyone in this industry feels deep down. I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Downtime, it's not some abstract tech issue. No, it's a business problem, plain and simple. It slows down your production, it makes your team want to pull their hair out, and it literally just bleeds money from your bottom line second by second. And that leads us right into what we're calling the downtime dilemma. Think about it. The more connected our plants get, the bigger the fallout when the network goes down. The stakes have never been higher. So, what's the real root of this problem? Well, here it is. Most plant networks weren't actually designed. They just happened. They evolved. You know the story. A new machine comes in. Hey, we need to get this online. An office needs access. Let's run a cable. A contractor needs to plug in. Here's a port. So you get this patchwork of cables and switches stacked up over the years. It wasn't designed. It just kind of grew on its own. And this is what we end up with. The accidental network. It's really the villain of this whole story. A system that was cobbled together over time and was absolutely never meant to handle the kind of pressure we put on it today.
So, to put a label on it, this evolved network is basically any network that just grew organically, out of necessity, instead of being built from a solid plan. And the result? It's always the same. You get this complex, fragile, tangled mess. Honestly, it's a ticking time bomb just waiting to cause downtime.
Okay, let's see if any of these sound familiar. These are the classic signs of an accidental network. You've got a flat, unsegmented network. What does that mean? It means your critical production machines are on the same network as the guest Wi-Fi and your front office computers. Yikes. Then there's no monitoring or alerts, so you only find out something's broken when it's already broken. You see outdated, or even worse, consumer-grade hardware that you could buy at a big box store. No redundancy, so if one thing fails, the whole thing goes down. And my personal favorite, we've all seen this. A contractor comes in, plugs in some rogue device, and boom, a whole production line just stops. But listen, it does not have to be this way. So let's flip the script. Let's stop talking about the problem and start talking about the solution. It's time to get away from just patching the old, creaky system and start fresh, building from an ideal network blueprint. And wow, the difference is just night and day. Look at this. You go from that accidental network, flat, no visibility, tons of failure points, totally insecure, to the ideal network, that segmented, isolated, fully monitored with alerts, redundant, and secure from the ground up. It's a total shift from chaos to control. Okay, so how do we actually get there? The answer is simple, really. We have to stop just reacting to downtime after it happens and start proactively building a network that's designed for uptime. And it all boils down to these 5 key pillars. First, it's got to be segmented. This is huge. You have to separate your critical machinery, your OT, from your regular IT traffic and your guest network. Second, redundant. You need failover paths and backups so that no single piece of equipment can take you down. Third, monitored. You need to see what's happening in real time with alerts that tell you about a problem before it causes a shutdown. Fourth, secure. We're talking locking things down with modern tools like firewalls and multi-factor authentication. And finally, number 5, modular. You have to design it so that expanding is easy. Adding a new production line should be a simple, planned process, not a 5-alarm fire. And this is what it looks like in practice. A 1-page blueprint that pulls all of that together. This isn't just theory. It's a real, tangible plan that gets you from the accidental mess to a purpose-built system. You can see right on here how it lays out why this matters. It lists those pitfalls we just talked about, and then it spells out the features of the ideal network, like segmentation and monitoring. This is the kind of document that gets your whole team on the same page and really guides the change. Okay, redesigning the network, that all sounds great, but let's get to the important part. What does this actually mean for the business? What's the real bottom line impact of doing all this? Right. What do you actually get for making this transformation? What's the real measurable payoff? This, 45%. A 45% reduction in unplanned downtime. And get this, that's not some 5-year goal. That's in 6 months. Just let that sink in for a second.
almost half of the production stops, the panicked phone calls, the lost revenue, just gone.
And that 45% isn't just a number, it translates directly into real-world results. More production, better margins, a much happier, less frustrated team. But what's maybe even more important are these last two things. It finally gives you a solid foundation to modernize your MES, your manufacturing execution systems. And it gives you the power to scale without hitting a wall. The network stops being a bottleneck and becomes an engine for growth. And really, that's the key takeaway here. A modern network isn't just about fixing downtime. It's about enabling growth. It's the bedrock you need to innovate, to scale up, and to stay competitive for the long haul. So that leaves us with one final and really important question for you to think about. I want you to take a really honest look at your own operation and ask yourself this: is your network helping you grow? Or is it an accidental relic from the past that's holding you back? The answer to that question could literally define your company's future. Thanks for joining me.